Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. And the title of this segment is Billy and the Rat, a love story. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. This guy, he's more of a nuisance than a problem. You know, he really likes junk. Lots of junk. He gets a weed. The worse the unit is, the bigger the woody he gets, and you can just see him. He's just looking like $500, just off of the bat. And that's one of his offensive ploys, which is to throw people off. But you know, he just loves the game. He buys, sells, a total sum of his life. It's a little bit sad. I heard his wife died, and ever since she died, he's been like that. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons that people come out to auctions. Well, he bought a unit, and it was terrible. I'm talking, I wouldn't have given $10 for it. Now, understand, you never know what's in the unit. But I have some breaking points. There's some stuff I just don't want to deal with. I have let units go that I knew would have made a lot of money. I just didn't want to deal with it. It was like, no, it was too much work with. And this is one unit I didn't want to deal with. It just looks skanky. I mean, it looks like some of Tiger's and Jesse James' ex-girlfriends. I mean, just super skanky. And it didn't really have a smell. It was just, it was a little musty because stuff was old. But I was just like, nah, I just walked off. And you know, Billy, he just popped off $350. I was like, could have got it for $5. He could have got it for $1. You know, they were going once, going twice. I buy a few units at the property. And I'll come back later on that day to load because there was nothing in the schedule. And he's there, and he's loading up. I mean, I thought it looked skanky from the door. It was skanky through and through. I mean, it was terrible. Old, mildewed boxes and mold. And he was like, I found some really good stuff in here, man. Oh, look. And he found some stuff. He was going to clearly quadruple his money. But what he had to go through to get to, it was just horrible. It was really horrible. My guys would have looked at me like, man, you're kidding, right? You normally don't buy shit like this. What the hell happened to you? And he's going through and he's loading up stuff. It's like, I've got the good stuff up in the cab with me. It's like, all right. So he's rolling on out, and I'm looking at him, and I see a rat on the box in his truck. A big ass rat. The thing that gets me is the rat is just chilling. The rat's just like, you know, gangster lean. He's just sitting up there. I'm like, yo, there's a rat in there. He's like, I know. I'm like, you know? He's like, yeah, I found him earlier. There's some strange ass people that come out to the auctions. Dude adopted this freaking rat. And apparently they had something going on because, you know, typically you see a rat, rat's trying to get away from you. He's trying to run. Fortunately, I don't scratch that often. This rat was just, I'm like, maybe he was dazed. Maybe a lot of the storage facilities use pest control. They'll have the little pills and pots, you know, just for that reason, to keep the rodents out of there. If they do get in there, to kill them. So maybe he was dazed. I don't know. But this fool had a storage unit rat box in the cab of his truck, and he was perfectly comfortable with it. 90% of you out there would be like, oh, hell no. Stop the truck where it was, let the truck roll and jumped out because there's a rat. I mean, the rat was like this, maybe like 13 inches long. It was a big, a swamp rat. One of those, I mean, it was a huge rat. Rat just sitting there, dang. Needless to say, I never got too close to Billy after that. Dude is hanging with rats. And I saw him. So, hey, Billy, how'd you make out on the unit? Oh, man, it was great. I found the Rolex. He put his little arm out like that. And the Rolex looked at it, and you know, I know a lot about watches, and I was like, damn, that's real. So, but as I said, stinky units make money, crazy units make money. It's just a matter of what you want to put into it and how much work you want to put into it. No. He can have a Rolex. I'm glad for him. And that's something else. I never really got mad if I heard that someone had a big score. It's like, oh, someone found. Great. I've had big scores. I've had several. You know, some people heard about, most people didn't, because one of the things, and there is this propensity to brag, and it's like, oh yeah, I did this, that kills you. Because every time I had a big score that people knew about, the next unit, if it was good or not, they bid me through the wazoo. And sometimes I would put out red herrings. I'm like, yeah, I got a great score on the day that I knew it was going to be kind of skanky. And they'd just be bidding and bidding and bidding. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get shit last week. And then when I really got something good, it was hard. Because, you know, you want to just talk about it and you want to nah. I learned to keep my mouth closed because when I got those errands, if a certain person had knew that I got that type of unit, I would have got nothing cheap for at least 2 or 3 months. Because he would have been that hard. And that's what I'm saying. If you get out there, there's enough for everyone. There's 55,000 storage facilities in the United States of America. And they're building more. And at some point, all of these facilities are going to have an auction, a liquidation. They got to get rid of it. Sometimes the owners will just, take a net loss. Like, hey, you can have it back. But for the corporates, they're not taking those net losses. They're like, we're going to sell this, get a little money, then take the net loss. Then jack up your credit. So, just something to think about. And this kind of reminds me. I do remember a unit, it wasn't as bad because they opened up the door. Sometimes you got a lot of characters out there and people just yell anything to see how the crowd's going to react. And this unit is like, snake! I don't do snakes, call me a coward, I don't care. And there was really a snake in the unit. Because the unit was on the back end where all the foliage, where the edge of the property was, and it met the tree line. And a little snake had crawled up in there. And the guy killed him. But nobody wanted that unit. It went for $10. Because I don't know. Well, that was one snake, and maybe his wife was in there. Maybe the kids were in there. I don't know. And a lot of storage auction folks are superstitious like I have never seen. Never. It is a trip. But on that one, hey. So, I'll buy a stinky unit, but rats, that's a lot. I've bought units and I've saw rat droppings. Typically, in the beginning, before on, I made killer money off those units because they're like, ooh, there was a rat in there. There was the droppings. You get it for $1, $5, $10. You find one item, make $100. I bought one unit, and I really questioned my own sanity. I really thought there was something wrong with me. Because there was not a rat. It was a crew of rats, like a gang of rats. I mean, maybe 12, 15. It was a bunch. There was droppings everywhere on everything. And this is when I was loading these myself. I got leather gloves because I just didn't want to take the chance. Went through there and everything, cleaned out stuff. I literally threw half the unit away, not because the stuff was bad, it's because the rats just killed it. They had chewed through the furniture, they chewed through the fabrics, they had pissed and crap all over the place. But the lady had a gang of jewelry in there. There are some women, they just get gold jewelry and they get more and more and more. And she was, you remember back in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, when the chicks were rocking the bamboo gold earrings? She was a New York chick. She had all that stuff. 250 grams of gold. $3,800. She had 10, 14, and 18 because she went from B chick to Erica Badu Earth chick. She had the onyx in there. She was doing this stuff, and she had a pendant, 18 karat gold pendant, heavy, with an onyx that was on this gold based background. I was just amazed.